Brooke Shields rose to fame at a young age after her controversial performance as a child prostitute in the Malle film Pretty Baby. Since then, the actress has stayed in the public spotlight for a variety of reasons. Recently, the actress suffered a severe leg injury that subsequently resulted in a serious staph infection. Sadly, this isn't her first bout with poor health, after an episode involving postpartum depression almost 2 decades earlier. Join Factsverse as we explore why Brooke Shields is lucky to be alive. Brooke Shields was born May 31, 1965. Her parents brought her into show business at an early age, and she was given the controversial role of a child prostitute in the 1978 film Pretty Baby when she was only 12 years old. This role garnered her a great deal of acclaim, and she subsequently appeared in the equally controversial films The Blue Lagoon and Endless Love. After gaining success as an actress and model, Brooke decided to pursue higher education at Princeton. It was here she received a bachelor's degree in the field of Romance languages. Afterwards, she returned to acting. Although she didn't gain quite as much attention as an adult, she still found a good deal of success in entertainment. One of her most notable roles after returning to acting was the sitcom Suddenly Susan, which premiered in 1996 and ran until 2000. She also starred in the short-lived series Lipstick Jungle in the late 2000s, and more recently took on a recurring role on the long-running TV staple Law & Order Special Victims Unit. Sadly, a recent injury has put a bump in the road for Brooke, and it appears as if the actress is lucky to be alive. In January 2021, she suffered a serious leg injury during a vigorous exercise routine. According to the actress, it was the most severe pain she'd ever felt. The injury turned out to be a shattered femur bone, and the recovery process required the surgical insertion of a plate and 7 metal rods. Brooke was performing rigorous exercises at the time she received the injury and claimed it occurred when she was landing from an intense jump. As soon as she returned to the ground, her bone instantly snapped, causing her to scream out in pain. While the doctors were hopeful Brooke would make a full recovery, it appears as if matters got worse after the surgeries. As it turned out, Brooke's surgeries resulted in further hospitalization for staph infection. She was hospitalized at a time when COVID-19 was at a peak, meaning she was deprived of seeing her husband and children. It seems as if things went from bad to worse for poor Brooke, though the actress appears to be grateful she's made it through the worst of it. When Brooke's family was finally able to visit, her 2 children apparently were fearful that their mother was dying. This caused Brooke to reflect on her own mortality, realizing how lucky she was to be alive after all that had happened. She assured her children she was going to be fine despite the serious nature of the infection, and claims she felt stronger than ever due to the fact she had made it through both the injury and the infection. Brooke's family consists of her 57-year-old husband, Chris Hensey, as well as the couple's 2 daughters, Rowan and Greer. Brooke has always valued her family over her career and was likely devastated during the time she was deprived of their presence. Thankfully, the family is now back together, and it appears Brooke will be able to recover from the issues she's faced so far in 2021. One of the reasons she's been able to remain so calm during recovery is that she already suffered through health issues in her lifetime. After the birth of first daughter Rowan, she publicly revealed she'd suffered from postpartum depression. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. After marrying writer and producer Chris Hensey in 2001, Brooke soon gave birth to their first daughter, Rowan. While having a daughter had always been a dream of hers, she sadly began to suffer from severe postpartum depression. Brooke has since opened up to the media about the struggles she faced while in the throes of depression, in an effort to help those who may be facing the same problems. The event granted Brooke a new outlook on life, and her recovery allowed her to prevent similar issues from occurring after the birth of their second daughter, Greer. Brooke was in her late 30s when Rowan was born, and the seeds of her future depression were planted well before her first daughter was ever conceived. Although Brooke had long desired to be a mother, her first daughter's conception wasn't something that happened immediately for the actress. She and her husband had struggled continuously to conceive. This struggle led to feelings of inadequacy that lasted well beyond her daughter's conception and birth. While this tumultuous conception might have planted some seeds for future depression and feelings of inadequacy, postpartum depression is a biological phenomenon that doesn't always need a reason to occur. It's said to occur in a whopping 10% of mothers to some degree, with Brooke's case being an example of a more severe instance. It usually begins within 6 months of birth. With Brooke, the depression led to her feeling as if she wanted to die, with her later recalling laying on the floor of the family's Manhattan apartment and contemplating jumping out of the 4th-story window. Although Brooke could recognize the things she was feeling were dangerous and irrational, there was simply nothing she could do but wait for the feelings to pass. Thankfully, she was able to make a full recovery. Brooke had the courage to be candid about her struggle to the public. While most treated Brooke with kindness when she opened up about her struggle, one infamous celebrity figure was anything but. That was Scientologist Tom Cruise, whose strange beliefs about medicine saw him take issue with some of the things Brooke was saying about depression. Tom's chief concern with Brooke's public remarks came from Brooke sharing with the public she had used an antidepressant drug known as Paxil to recover from postpartum depression. According to Tom Cruise's strange Scientologist beliefs, taking antidepressant drugs is a sinful thing to do. While many might see fit to keep these strange religious beliefs to themselves, Tom had to call Brooke out for it in public. While Tom was stepping far enough out of bounds already, he continued his offenses by degrading Brooke and commenting on what he felt was the poor state of her career. Apparently, Brooke's use of antidepressants and the fact she now worked in TV instead of film were directly related in some way via Tom's twisted logic. Brooke tried not to make the feud personal, but she didn't take Tom's remarks lying down. She came out publicly and said Tom's remarks on the matter of antidepressants were dangerous and irresponsible. According to her, those remarks could prevent suffering mothers from getting the medication they needed. Brooke went on to further explain postpartum depression is a chemical phenomenon, unlike some other types of depression that Tom may have been mistakenly talking about. Given that postpartum depression is caused by a chemical imbalance, it requires chemical aid to be fixed. Soon after making her public remarks in defense of antidepressant use, Brooke was invited to write an op-ed piece in further defense against Tom's derogatory claims. It was titled War of Words and appeared in the New York Times July 1, 2005. She used the paper to make her claim that antidepressant use was beneficial and often necessary for mothers suffering from postpartum depression. She also said her antidepressant use was only temporary, and only used as a means to help shift her away from the chemical imbalance. Tom Cruise later made a heartfelt apology, and the two became friends again. Now it's time to hear from you. Comment down below to share what role you first think of when you hear Brooke Shields' name. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.